Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 14th of November for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to outline the collective energies that are going to impact upon us all, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. Now, the Sun continues in the sign of Scorpio this week, but Mercury and Venus are going to be leaving this sign and moving into the sign of Sagittarius, triggering the first blush of Sagittarius season, which of course we'll pick up furthermore next week when the Sun arrives in the sign of the Archer too. But the significance of Mercury and Venus moving together is that I feel that it's going to be a much freer energy that they bring in. But that's not going to be particularly apparent right at the start of this week, because on Monday, Saturn is obstructing or blocking or inhibiting the energy of the Sun. And of course, the intensity of that total lunar eclipse of the 8th of November continues to pour its energy into all our circumstances in a very disruptive way, particularly around our sense of values, our connections, our sense of self-worth, but also around money. So the transition of Mercury and Venus into Sagittarius can bring some levitation. But of course, technically, Mercury is debilitated in the sign of Sagittarius, but I think it's one of the weakest debilitations. And in fact, I feel that Mercury can thrive in this sign, despite being opposite Gemini, which it governs, square in Virgo, which it also governs, and of course in a square with Pisces, where it's also detrimented. So we have an opportunity to use the knowledge of Sagittarius and the thinking and the intellect of Mercury in order to transform our situation. So information is going to be important. But with Venus in the mix as well, when it comes to our relationships or even our attitude to money, the truth of our situations is vital. So the higher truth. We've been going through such an intense period collectively, and the quarter moon, which occurs on Wednesday in the sign of Leo, rather emphasizes the dilemmas that we have. You know, at some level we want to enjoy, we want to connect, we want to mix and mingle, but we've had to become much more aware of some very powerful and intense energies which have not been particularly easy. But you know, through the prism of intensity, there can also be the alchemy of positivity. And that happens this week from Tuesday, through to Sunday, when the Sun forges an awesome link to Pluto. So if we can see where change can be a good thing and we embrace it and don't resist it, then our circumstances can really be changed in a very positive way. Also, the Sun from Thursday through to Sunday is in a terrific link with Jupiter, of course, now travelling forwards in the other sign it governs of Pisces. So this water trine is wonderful for letting emotions flow in a positive way. Also, Jupiter and Pluto are in a sextile all week, which is one of the most potentially fortunate of all planetary influences. It is true that Mars continues to retrograde. It is true it continues to be in a square with the equally retrograding Neptune. And so information can continue to be distorted, or it can be tricky to really get to the nub of certain matters. But I think generally this is a week that can see us opening up a little bit, or trying to make the most of the scorpionic energies which have been so powerful recently, because obviously Pluto is the ruler, the modern ruler of the sign of Scorpio, and that's like a lightning rod to both the Sun in Scorpio and of course also to Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. So if we're open to evolution, transformation, moving forwards, then the bubbly, bright and very sociable conjunction between Venus and Mercury can bring some levitation to bear. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what year 2023 will hold for you personally, please check out my special package, which gives you the rest of this year free in terms of the forecast, all of 2023, but based on your time, date and place of birth. This information completely unique to you, as will be your chart. And in my package with 30% off, you can also get your life roadmap, your character analysis, which can help you to understand some repeating patterns in your life, but also seize opportunities with greater conviction. Please see the link below. And if you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. But if you'd like to leave any comments and interact with me, I try very hard to answer all of them, so please feel very welcome to do that. And to all my ongoing viewers, thank you so much for all your support. So Aquarius, your week commencing the 14th of November forecast can begin with a little bit of an impasse. Something that's important to you can seem mightily stuck. Maybe that became really obvious towards the end of the week preceding this one. But keep the faith, because things are going to move in a very dynamic and potentially really sensational way as this week goes on. It is true that on Wednesday there's a quarter moon in your opposite sign, and a professional relationship is going to be important, particularly the way you handle it, because being Aquarius people, the need to be individualistic is important, but of course Aquarius people also have great respect for traditions. It's a duality in the sign that lots of astrologers can miss, to be honest. It's not all about being zany. So right at the heart of this week, you may have to interact with someone who's part of a corporation, a big business, some kind of larger enterprise, someone who's involved in something that's more about the more prevailing structures. And that may be something that you find a bit of a bind, but go with it, because your ability to network, build alliances with people, sometimes with people who are completely different to you, can come back to you in an enormously helpful way in the second half of this week, because Jupiter, the planet of fortune, forging an amazingly positive link to the Sun. This trine, one of the most star-studded angles in astrology. This really can elevate your abilities, your presence. People can become much more aware of what you have to offer, and something really quite sensational can come to pass. Perhaps you've been working behind the scenes for so long, patiently, persistently, because of Pluto in your 12th house. Well, that's linking with Jupiter in a very positive way, and it's linking with the Sun. So some kind of transformation can come to pass around your professional financial situation later this week, or perhaps it's going to be around a property matter. But it's on Wednesday and Thursday as Venus and Mercury make your way into your sector of friendship, which is very much in keeping with the values of your sign. Your ability to make those connections, to find ways to celebrate the things that we have in common, rather than always focusing, not you, but collectively. There's a lot of focus on division these days. There's a lot of polarization. I think you can be a very unifying energy as this week goes on. And that could see you mixing and mingling with different types of friends or colleagues or contacts, but also it can see you start to showcase your future hopes in a very positive way. And once the Sun moves in the week following this one into the sign of Sagittarius, your situation can take a giant step forwards in a way that at the start of this week, when the Sun and Saturn are on a really quite frankly unfriendly terms, may not seem terribly possible.